What is up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 14 of the Drop the Mitts Hockey Podcast with myself and Chris Davis. We're back here on the pod waves for you guys, talking some preseason puck and news all around the NHL. Chris, what's up, man? How you been doing?
Dude,
Long time no see.
yeah, man, you and I, this is like the Jordan flu game for us. We both
I
feel like
know.
just complete dog shit, dude. I don't know what it is,
I
but
think, dude, I think everybody in New England, if they're in the same boat as us, I think everybody is sick right now
yeah,
because the whole office where I work, everybody's sick. My family, sick. My friends, sick. Everybody is just fighting off
yeah,
the
dude.
same bug right now, and I'm sure you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, for sure. I like between Emma and I are like sick as dogs, dude, and it's like just feel like complete dog shit. It's gonna be a messy bun weekend for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure, dude.
But yeah, dude, like you mentioned, we got a lot to get to. Obviously with preseason starting up. Um, there's been already a lot of highlights, especially within the Bruins game with Brandon Bussey. Um, Logan Cooley had a highlight reel goal. So
Nasty.
yeah, we'll get into all that, but I think first we should probably, talk about Chris Snow, assistant GM of the Calgary Flames. Really sad story, man. He obviously he suffered a catastrophic brain injury, and from what I'm reading, he went into cardiac arrest on Tuesday. He was diagnosed with ALS in 2019. So, I mean, and he's been just fighting this entire time, dude. Like, hasn't stopped working. Like, still just an unbelievable ambassador to the game. And they don't think he's going to make it. Like, his brain isn't responsive, per his wife. So, we just offer our condolences and offer our prayers to the Snow family, his wife Kelsey, their children, and the Calgary Flames organization. Just an incredibly sad story. Um,
Yeah, I mean, when you think about Chris Snow too, I mean, talk about a guy who just gave it his all. You know what I mean? To not only his life, but his family, for his friends, for honestly, for just people in general. Just to kind of look at him as a beacon of inspiration and hope. Um, I mean, he fought right up until the very end. ALS is a terrible, terrible disease. That obviously, you know, a lot of people became aware of it during the ice bucket challenge. That I think that's what really brought attention to the disease right up to the forefront with that. And a lot of people didn't realize how many people it affects.
yeah,
And because Chris Snow and his family, they were so I want to say they were so open about it and what the everyday struggle is like for people who are dealing with loved ones who have that disease and the people themselves who have that disease. They opened up to the world to really show um, how it can affect people and what it really is like firsthand. And just to see him every day, continue to work, continue to grind, never give up. They would always post videos of him swimming or, doing things outside, walking or well, like, working out, doing all these things that, um, just serve as an inspiration to people. Um, so he's forever a legend. I hope the Calgary Flames organization does something in memory of him. Obviously not like a jersey retirement, or maybe just hang up a banner in the Saddle Dome in their new rink wherever they end up going with his name, and just something like that to honor him forever because he deserves it.
yeah. I think like what you just said. I think of I remember what the Patriots did when Robert Kraft lost his wife.
Yeah.
Even just the stickers on the helmets,
Yeah.
the like just something like that. I mean, he's more than deserving of recognition. I mean, like you said, man, he fought up until the end. Like his love for the game of hockey wasn't going to tear. Like he wasn't going to stop, and I think
Right.
that's so inspiring. And like I said, just incredibly sad. ALS is fucking brutal, dude. It's
Awful.
just a terrible fucking disease. Rear Admiral actually shared a GoFundMe that's going around as well. And I'm gonna share that in the episode link as well to help out Kelsey Snow and help out that family. So if you guys can donate, like I said, that's awesome. If not, just sharing it is huge. The more people that see this kind of stuff, the more likely people are willing to help. And so like I said, it'll be shared on our on the podcast, when we drop it. The link will be there. So just sharing it and getting that around would be amazing and huge. There's such an amazing family. Like I said, ALS is fucking brutal. So again, just offer our condolences, our prayers to that family, to the Calgary Flames. And yeah, so just brutal. Guess moving on, some other other news within the Flames organization. They named Michael Backlund their captain, which is, I love to see these kind of things where like this dude has been with the organization 15 years, dude. Like,
Dude,
and I had no idea. I had to go when I went on Elite Prospects. I like looked and I'm like, holy shit, dude, 15. And 08 does not feel like 15 years. Like,
no, it doesn't. But when you said he was with the organization for 15 years, I also had to look it up because I was like, there's no way. Like, I feel like you said, 2008, that goes by so quickly. It doesn't feel like that's 15 years ago, but just for an individual to spend, and we know because we were talking about it beforehand as well. But I mean, Patrice Bergeron spent 19 seasons in Boston.
yeah,
That's insane. But I mean, that's to the extreme though. 15 years with the same organization for your entire career is I mean, kudos to him, dude.
yeah,
Being in Calgary too can't be
yeah.
easy.
Well, and I really like this move for Calgary. I think they're on the brink of a rebuild.
Yep.
Obviously, we've seen some big names leaving that team. Matthew Tkachuk, who obviously was a pest to the Bruins. Um,
Yeah.
they still got guys like Noah Hannafin, but I think this is a good bridge to what's coming next for this team. I definitely think they're on the brink of a rebuild.
Now, let me ask you a question because I feel like they're such a wild card, right? Like they could still
Yeah,
be decent this year. Like I don't think anybody really expects Huberdeau to put up. I'm pretty sure last year he put up sub 50 points.
yeah, it was really disappointing, dude. I think
Yeah.
after the season that he had with Florida, and then kind of that huge trade. Right now, people are definitely viewing that trade as a huge L for Calgary.
Yeah, but do you think like because in my mind there's no way he does that again. In my mind he's going to put up at least 70. Um like what they got Markstrom, they got Vladar, they got Mangiapane. I mean, on paper they're not a terrible team. I think on paper they're a playoff team. But I guess it all kind of, leans on Huberdeau to produce. But do you think they're a playoff team this year or no?
I don't
'Cause
know, man.
I don't know.
I have their roster up right now, and like I have a couple names. I mean, they, like you said, they're not bad on paper, dude. Like
They're not.
I know there are teams in way worse shape than the Calgary Flames, and I'm just looking at this roster, starting from the top: Backlund, Blake Coleman, Matt Coronado, Dylan Dubé, Huberto, Kadri, Elias Lindholm, Mangiapane, Jacob Pelletier. Like again, and then you look on their defense, they got
Right.
Hannafin, Tanev, Uyghur. I, I'm gonna say they're not a playoff team.
Really?
I'm gonna say no.
I
And
guess I guess with the emergence of Seattle, it makes it a little bit tougher
yes,
on them.
I think there are other teams, like I said, in better shape with better depth. Um, like I said, those guys I just named. I mean, are they stars on other teams? I don't think so. I mean, like
Yeah.
you look at the other playoff teams in the West, like I'm not sure how they're gonna match up. I mean, I think they would need Markstrom to absolutely fucking bail them out and stand on his head all year. But yeah, I don't think they're a playoff team. I think we kind of said this during our preview, going through the divisions. This is
Yeah.
just not a strong division.
Yeah. I mean, I think they might be like one of those teams that's if they make it, they'll be a wild card. If they don't make it, they'll be right on the outside.
Yeah, I don't know. And like again, they have like the pieces I named, like those they're good players. Like I have high hopes for Matt Coronado. Like we got to watch him at Harvard.
Yep.
Um he's fucking sick. Like obviously Dylan Dubé, Huberto, like they have the talent. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
Right. Right.
And I just don't see that happening, unfortunately. But again, going back to the Backlund move, I like this move for them. I mean, I think out of that entire list that we just named, he probably was the most fitting.
Yeah.
Being with the team for this long, like, just shows loyalty. And you mentioned it, dude. It's Calgary. So, like, I can't imagine what I mean, I'm not trying to shit on I've never been, but, like, from what you hear, it's not always great things.
Just doesn't seem like the most fun place to be.
No.
You know?
We'd have to talk to Bobby about Calgary.
We
I
would.
don't know how much he knows about it, but
I heard Calgary is kind of like the Texas of Canada, which
oh,
confuses me because I don't
how does
but
that work?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
you do see them like wearing cowboy hats. I mean, their rink
Yeah.
is the Saddle Dome. Like maybe it's like ranch country. You know what I mean? Like maybe farmland and like just kind of like rural areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, like, you just don't see big time free agents like wanting to go there. Like, I don't
No.
know. Like, and honestly, we've seen a bunch of very high profile players getting out of Canada.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I think they're definitely going to have to build through the draft. Um, we'll see how this trade, that we just mentioned with Kachuk, Huberto, like, we'll see how it pans out. I mean, I think right now it's an L for Calgary right now, just
Yeah.
based on this past, playoff run for the Panthers and Kachuk. Like, I'm looking back on it now. I don't make that trade today.
No.
Um,
No.
you
No.
know, if we're looking back on, yeah, you got Uyghur, you got who I just guys like Kachuk, dude, like, they're game changers. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm really hoping that Huberto turns it around. And I mean,
It's
yeah,
it's kind of hard for me to choose a winner or not. On right now,
I
it's
think it's too
easily
early.
Florida. Yeah, because you got to see what Huberto does this year. If Huberto puts up another stinker and he puts up say less than 70, I'll side with Florida all day.
Yeah,
Because I think when they traded for Huberto, they were kind of expecting him to pop off for at least 80 to 85 points. Now that makes you wonder how much was Huberto benefiting from Barkov's play, you
yeah,
know?
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's carrying whatever line he's on now. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing with Kadri, but yeah, you got a guy like Alex Barkov centering you, like,
You're
not
gonna do
having
well.
to not having to play a ton of defense. I mean, he's a Selke candidate every year, and
Yeah.
we'll see how it is. I like, again, it is too early, but from just the past this playoff run that the Panthers went on, it's like they're the winners right now. I mean, Kachuk had an unbelievable season. He's a pain in the ass to play against, and we'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah.
But so moving on, dude, some other news today that broke. Andre Vasilevsky is going to be out for 2 months. He had
Yep.
successful back surgery today. Um, I'm not sure if the surgery was today or when it was, but they're anticipating that he's going to be out for 2 months. How significant is this for the Lightning, dude?
Dude,
Like, you think
it's
about how
bad.
crazy it is. Like, you never when you have franchise goaltenders, I feel like it's such a blow when you lose like this. Now you're like, oh shit, like, we've had, Vasilevsky bailing us out for all these years. Like, obviously they've been extremely talented at forward defense, but like, he's been the backbone of that team.
Oh yeah.
Like, Vesna candidate, like, year in, year out. Like, he's fucking sick. And I think these for 2 months, dude, that's a long time.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, you just said he was the backbone of that team. He just got back surgery. That's what
Yeah.
happens when they overuse you so much. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure he starts about 60 to 65 games a season at least for Tampa. I mean, they got Jonas Johansson right now as their starter. I don't know, dude.
Meh.
Yeah, meh. Talk about meh. But that is for Tampa Bay. That is awful news. That is awful.
Yeah.
It's obviously good that it was successful and they have a timetable on his return, but I mean, 2 months is no joke. That's going to take you right up to about what, Thanksgiving, maybe a little bit before.
Yeah.
That's a significant amount of games, and if they're not able to, I don't want to say ward off the storm because it is only one guy. There's still star-studded in Kucherov, Point, Stammer. Hedman, Sergachev. I mean, you could Cirelli. You can go down the list.
Yeah.
They're still star-studded, but I mean, that is a generational talent in goal that is a part of that team, a crucial part of that team that you're now going to be without for at least 15, maybe 20 games. Depends. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but I mean, it's a good chunk of the season. So, I mean, teams in the Atlantic Division are going to hope to kind of take advantage of that. And whenever they play Tampa in the beginning stages of the season, those are games that you're going to want to win for sure.
Yeah, and we mentioned how loaded this, the Eastern Conference is.
Mm-hmm.
2 months, dude, of like their season could be over before he even comes back.
Yeah.
Like who knows what happens, dude, if they completely shit the bed. Now, my question is, if that's the case, they completely shit the bed. Vasilevsky's still on the, still out. Do you start making moves if you're completely out of contention at that point, and you don't think that him coming back is going to make a big enough difference to make up for the lost time? Do you start moving pieces like Steven Stamkos, these guys that have been kind of on the block that they've discussed possibly moving? Do you start making moves?
No, I don't think so, dude. Because you gotta think too. Look at their lineup. I don't think even with the Vasilevsky injury, I don't think that they'll be out of contention at all. I mean, we'll see how much he really means to that team and that group of guys as the season starts. I don't think they're going to be terrible. They got so much offensive firepower, so much experience in the back end. And I mean, yeah, Johansson isn't like a elite goalie by any means. He's probably barely a starter, but
Yeah.
I mean, still an NHL caliber goalie. I think Tampa's too good, just depth wise as an organization. The way that they've been playing for almost a decade now, decade plus, their culture as a team, I think they're fine. Now,
Yeah.
are they going to slip a little bit? Definitely slip a little bit, but I don't think they'll be anywhere, in the danger zone, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you got to think like, I don't know. I think the Steven Stamkos trade talks are wild to me, dude. Like,
okay. I don't mean to cut. I was gonna say
no,
that.
you're good.
I was gonna say that the fact that he hasn't even been approached by Steve Eiserman or the front office of Tampa. I mean, he's only what, 32, right? He's only 32
30,
years old.
33, 32, yeah.
33 or 32. That's not far outside of your prime. He put up, I think, 84 points last season. And you're not even, this is your captain. This is the guy who's been with your organization for his entire career. He helped build Tampa Bay into a 2-time Stanley Cup champion team, a decade-long team that has made playoffs, that's a threat in the Atlantic, a threat in the East to make the Cup finals every year. He's an integral part of the culture there in the organization. And I feel like it's just so disrespectful to the player from the organization to not even like start a conversation about it.
It makes you wonder because, especially with us, I guess it's just different management style. Julian Brisebois is the GM there, and you kind of put like the Bruins with them being our team, like put like Patrice Bergeron. Do you think I couldn't imagine a scenario where there was ever this kind of issue? Like I don't think they would do anything without consulting him. It is bizarre.
He probably makes the decisions. He probably tells Don and Cam what to do.
but again, I think it's just weird, and yeah, I would feel some type of way too if you're finding this stuff out. Like again, you've given so much. What?
Am I dumb? Did I say Stevie Y was the GM of Tampa?
I think you did, but
I think I did. That's not what I meant.
I knew what you meant. Yeah, I was like, because I think he left there in 2018.
Yes, that's on me, but good call.
Yeah. So yeah, again, it's so bizarre. Like I would definitely feel some type of way too. Like all of a sudden, so you're looking at it from this, like, oh, if we start shitting the bed, like, am I the first one that's getting shipped off? Like, who knows, dude? I kind of think about it. What do you think a guy like Stammer is going to cost?
Depends on the term too. I mean, he probably wants this next contract to take him up until he retires, right? So he's like,
Right.
say 32 years old, maybe 6 years. Um, Stammer a fair number at that term at his age, but he's still producing. Maybe around 7.5, 8.
Yeah, it just, dude. I always worry. I think we had this conversation few weeks back. I'm
Mhm.
always weary of those 6 year, like those long ass deals, dude. Like
Yeah.
especially with guys that are on the tail end of their careers. Like more often than not, I feel like teams regret doing that because once they're at the tail end of their deals, you're still paying them that 6, 7, 8 million, and it's a liability at that point. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I David Backus.
exactly.
Right. But because originally I was thinking, in the same mindset that you just, explained. Would you do say 6.5 to 7? Would that be safer? Say instead of 8, 6.5 to 7 for 6 years.
I don't know if I'm doing 6 years though. That's the thing. I think it's the term that is getting me.
Hmm.
Because you know how much of a pain in the ass it was to get those contracts off the books, especially for the Bruins. Like,
Right.
I just am weary of those contracts for someone that's 33 years old and well past their prime, I think.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
and that's very valid.
Steven Stamkos in his prime, like he's still putting up decent numbers, but Steven Stamkos in his prime was a consistent 100-point scorer consistently. And
Yeah.
I just again, I'm weary of those long contracts that take him up to, so say 6 years. Yeah, he's going to be 39 at that point. With the amount of injuries that he's had throughout his career, he hasn't been necessarily the picture of health, let's say.
Yeah, I'm looking at his hockey DB page right now. Um his highest point total came in 2021, 2022 where he put up 106 points. He's there's a handful of seasons here where he has not, he's missed a significant amount of games. 2012, 2013, he only played 48. 2013, 2014, he only played 37. 2016, 2017, he played 17 games. 2019, 2020, he played 57. 2020, 21, that was the COVID year, I believe. That was 38 games. But the past 2 seasons, he's been healthy. He's only missed one game the past 2 seasons. Put up 106, as I said, in 2021, 2022. And then this previous season, he played 81 games and put up 84 points. So, I mean, pick your poison, man. I don't know. Like, it is a roll of the dice. It is a roll of the
Yeah.
dice.
The health does the health concerns, does that worry you at all when doing a deal like this?
Yes, for sure. Especially when the player is aging.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned he's already 33, 32 years old, and he's missed significant time due to injury. Like, I would be extremely hesitant to give a guy like him a 6 year plus contract. Like, I just would be really weary of that. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. He's another one that I think you and I grew up watching and stuff, where it would be so bizarre to see him in like another uniform. It would
Yes.
be so weird, and I would hate it, to be honest.
So out of um out of the 1003 games that he's played in his career, he has missed 227 due to injury. It's like it's a lot of
A lot
games.
of games, dude,
It's a
and
lot of
for
games.
and different things too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I would be extremely hesitant to do a deal like that. Like if we're talking like a 2, 3 year deal at say like 7, I would be okay with. I'd absolutely be okay with that. That takes him to 35, 36 years old, and then you see where he is at that point. I think just automatically giving him a 6 year deal, like say he fucking shits the bed this year,
Right.
like say he has a huge drop off. Well, now he's on your books for 5 more years. Good luck moving that contract.
I think you're thinking more in terms of the GM though, which is fair. I'm not like
Right.
criticizing or anything. But I think Stamkos as the player probably wants that security, right? of knowing that he can take this deal, the last deal of his professional career, and it can lead him to retirement, and then that's it. I think this is the last deal that he wants. I don't think he wants to go through it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the reason why I'm looking at it from that perspective is because it seems like Stamkos wants to be a Lightning.
Yes.
He wants to be on the Lightning forever, his whole career. The fact that these talks are even coming up clearly isn't an issue of him wanting to leave. I feel like it's more of a management thing.
Yes.
You know,
I'm with you on that. I don't
yeah,
think he would have
and
said it to the media if he didn't want to stay.
if he
You know what I
wasn't
mean?
actually frustrated that we haven't heard anything, my camp hasn't heard anything, and
Right.
yeah, if I'm in Stamkos' shoes, I absolutely would want to stay in Tampa. I would want the 6+ years. I would want that security, like you said, and absolutely, like who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I think it's more so looking at it from Breezewall's perspective of, well, where are we in terms of Steven Stamkos, right? Like,
Right.
I think this year is going to be very telling,
Yep.
and I can understand why they want to see what they have in him, before again investing. It's going to be another big deal, dude.
Watch, dude. He's gonna with Vasilevsky
Light it
out,
up.
dude. He's gonna absolutely carry that team on his back, dude.
50 goals, dude.
And
You
then
think
what? And then Breezeball is
you
gonna be like,
have to pay
"Ah,
it?
yeah." He's gonna be
Yeah,
like, "Fuck, I should have paid
yeah.
him when I had the chance."
That's the risk of that, dude.
Right.
Like if you I don't know. Like again, this is one of those. I hate to say a prove it year for him, but like
It
it
kind of
technically
is.
is
It kind
because
of
they want to
is.
see where he's at,
Yeah.
and
eh,
we'll see, man. I could see him going for 40. I could. I like again. He easily could.
Yeah.
How fucking lethal he is on the power play. His shot is second to none in the NHL.
Yeah. It is kind of funny when you really think about it because the GMs truly are not truly are, but truly have to treat, and this sounds so strange, but just breaking it down to the simplest forms, the GMs have to kind of treat these guys as assets, right? And because they're essentially trying to
Yeah,
run their business as efficiently and well oiled as they can.
yeah,
So you're looking in the eyes of Breezeball, right? You're looking at Stamkos as an aging player who, yes, he's devoted so much. I mean, not even so much. He's devoted his entire career to Tampa Bay.
right,
So morally, yes, he deserves every ounce of you know money that he deserves out of Tampa Bay because he wants to stay there, and he's devoted himself to that team, and he's brought that team to multiple championships and over a decade of success. I mean, we
right.
were playing Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference Finals as Boston fans in 2011. It's 2023, and they're still going strong.
Yeah,
But it's from a front office perspective, I understand where they're coming from. It seems a little cold hearted and unfair to the player who's given their entire career to that one organization. And so I understand Stamkos's frustration. But also in Breezeball's situation, it makes a little bit of sense. I just think it was wrong of him not to even give him a call and say, "Hey, this is what we're thinking."
that's
That's where I think they messed
yeah.
up.
I can agree because I think he absolutely has deserved the benefit of the doubt and to be
Oh yeah.
involved in these kind of decisions. And it's just a bizarre situation. Like I can understand why he's feeling disappointed, and it is shitty, dude. But like you mentioned, it is a business, and that is the shitty side of the NHL. I
Yeah.
think these contract negotiations, because us being fans, dude, like I think about it. What does Steven Stamkos have to prove? Like what?
Nothing. He's already
Like
proven.
again, can you the career that he's had? Yeah, he's missed significant time. Like I get that. The time that he has been in, dude, he's been a prolific scorer in this league
Oh yeah.
consistently when
Oh yeah.
healthy.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy to think about, dude. I, I
Was
I'm
he
still
was he the number one overall pick?
he was. I want to say in
Yes, he was.
2000 was it 7?
No, 2008.
Oh fuck, I was close.
I love looking back at old NHL drafts. I'm trying to like who was the top 5 in 2008? It was oh wow. Oh
Loaded.
wow. No. It went Tampa Bay, number 1, they picked Stamkos. Number 2 was LA. Who did they pick?
Dustin Brown.
Drew Doughty.
Why'd I say Dustin Brown, dude? Jesus.
Number 3 was Atlanta. Throwback.
Evander Kane.
Zach Bogosian at number 3.
Oh my god, dude. Well, I'm off.
Number 4, St. Louis.
Shen.
Pietrangelo.
Oh my. Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up at this point.
One more, Toronto. Number 5.
Morgan Riley.
Luke Shen. Trying to see here.
We're gonna cut out that entire part because I
you went one for 5. It's
and
not
you,
fair though,
and you gave me the first one.
I wouldn't have got it though if you asked me, and that's
Dude.
not fair because I'm looking at it right now. But some standouts in that draft. Now that I'm just kind of looking at it, I mean, it was kind of a weak draft class, to be honest. Jared Stahl was taken at 49th. I mean,
Meh.
Jordan Eberle, 22 to Edmonton.
Ooh, I do like Ebs.
Eric Carlson to Ottawa, number 15. Holy crap, I can't even say his name. Joe Colborn to Boston at 16.
Denver legend.
Michael Del Zotto at 20. So there's some names, but I mean, John Carlson at 27 to Washington. That's a great pick from Washington. But I mean, outside of that, kind of a weak draft class.
Yeah, not great. I mean, but like again, it just goes to show the greatness of Stamkos. Like,
right, yeah.
Like among his peers, he's like head over heels. I mean, obviously with the exception of like Carlson, he's been really in Doughty, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it'll be I'm interested to see how it plays out because that would be a huge move for the NHL. Like him switching teams, like, and he's going to help. Doesn't matter what team he goes to. He was going to be an asset immediately.
I just can't. It's hard for me to picture him in any other jersey.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to, in my mind, kind of Photoshop him into other teams' uniforms. Like I can kind of, excuse me, I can kind of see him in a Bruins uniform.
Of course you could.
I know. Well, I mean, they need center help. Maybe LA. Actually, I could see him in LA.
But it's a matter of what are you giving up at that point?
Right. Well, say he gets free agency. Say they don't even get anything for him.
But I don't think Breezeball. I don't think there is a scenario where Breezeball lets him walk for nothing.
No, you're right.
And I think
what's so intriguing about this whole
thing.
thing.
And I think something like this would happen deadline time.
Yeah.
Which again would be
But
wild.
if they're in a top 3 spot in the Atlantic, that's not you want to get
rid of. They're not moving them if they're in a top 3 spot. It's a matter of how far back they fall with Vasilevsky out.
Oh my god, this situation is not good if you're a Tampa fan.
Right? Like
this
again,
is not good.
Like again, they're still a loaded team, but like it just goes to show like how important Vasilevsky is to that team. Like you have had a top 3 goaltender in the NHL for however many years. Like he has been the backbone of that team. Like Victor Hedman, Norris winner, unbelievable talent. Kucherov, Stamkos, Braden Point, but I'm not sure you win all those Stanley Cups without Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Call it a hot take, whatever.
No, you don't. No, it's not. I think I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah, like I don't think they probably have one of those, maybe 2, but they don't have all those without Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah, but, no, they don't. 100 or all the success that they've had just within the division and within the Eastern Conference. Like no way.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm so curious, but we've had a lot of preseason hockey, which has been amazing.
Awesome.
I've been every night watching. Tonight we got Bedard, dude.
Yep,
he's gonna be suiting up. Halsey, Foligno's gonna be in the lineup. I'm so curious to see, dude. Even just the preseason games have gotten me so fired up, dude. Like I've been watching them like I would a regular season game. Like a lot of like notable things, like dude, the fucking goal by Logan Cooley
So good,
Are you
dude.
joking? Like,
That was in the Land Down Under too.
yeah, dude, he fucking took that place by storm.
Yeah,
I was watching him, dude, and he's not even a rookie that people are talking about for the Calder.
I
He
know.
has, dude, because I haven't really you don't really think about him like as a he's going to be considered a rookie this year. Like he
Yep.
absolutely could say this team isn't as bad as they have been in past. I could see him making a run at the Calder easily. That goal that he
Yeah,
scored, dude, our boys over at Empty Netters mentioned like it was literally like a move in NHL.
yeah,
Like the video game. Like the spinorama, backhand, forehand, like you full speed. I know it was a preseason game, and I was reading all those comments. I posted the goal, and obviously I'm getting all these comments on TikTok being like, "Well, it's a preseason game. They're not playing top play." It's like it's still NHL. This is NHL hockey, dude. Like
yeah,
the fact that he is that talented to be able to pull off a move like that, like
dude. He was, and you got to consider he was exhausted from the flight halfway across the world
yeah,
too,
dude.
right?
Dude,
But
that's so
I
sick.
mean, you got to think about it too. Like this year's okay. I know you got the front runners for the Calder, right?
Yeah.
You have the two front runners. If you're looking at the betting odds, it's Bedard and Fantilli,
Mhm.
hands down. But then you go down the list of some sleepers, like you just said, Logan Cooley, throw Zach Benson in there, Devin Levi. I mean, I'm sure there's others I'm forgetting right now off the top of my head too. Um, but it's not gonna be, as cut and dry as some people think it is. I think it's gonna
Well,
be down to the wire.
I want to read off. This is actually really interesting. This is from sportsbettingdime.com. I don't know how it looks legit. Anyways,
Do you want me to go on my DraftKings?
yeah, well, just on I mean, you can as I'm going down the list, you can tell me if these are the same.
Okay.
Bedard at minus 140. Is that what DraftKings has?
Um, I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see. So NHL futures, Calder. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see. So
Like again, a lot of value is in the middle of these odds, dude. Like some of these names you look at like and again, I want to wait till you pull up just to make sure that this isn't like some fucking sketchy site, but
yeah, okay. Um, oh, it's giving me the NFL. I'm sorry. Let's see.
yeah, I'm gonna pull it
Oh,
up
awards.
too. Let me
Okay, I got it. I got it. Let's see. Okay. All right, I
Oh,
got the
I
odds.
got it.
Sorry.
I was able to pull it up too.
Okay.
So going down the list, Connor Bedard at minus 140.
Yep.
Again, yeah, we all know what Bedard is, like we've seen, like but if you look and I see you have it up,
Yeah.
there's a lot of value at the middle of that pack, dude.
Oh yeah.
We got Luke Hughes at plus 750.
That's crazy.
Logan Cooley at plus 1100, dude. Adam Fantilli at plus 1100. Devin Levi at plus 1200. David Juracek, I hope I pronounce his name
Yep.
correctly, plus 2500. Brant Clark plus 2500. Matthew Nyes plus 2500. That's insane value for those guys.
Dude, Shane Wright plus 3,000.
Bro, and I'm looking on this list. I'm trying to find our boy Benson, and I am not even seeing. They got Fabian Lysell
Yep.
at plus 7,500, dude.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. They don't have
No
Benson.
Benson, dude.
They have Levi though.
Leo Carlson at plus 3,000. I love that. Logan Stankoven's another name to watch, dude. We had him on
Mhm.
earlier, one of our first episodes, and he cracks this lineup, dude, and he's playing with guys like say Sagan or Ben. Like I could see him blowing up.
That's so
The
crazy.
value, dude, at these how I just can't believe that it's very top heavy. But even Luke Hughes at plus 750, that's very good odds.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised to see him that high though, to be honest with you. I thought Fantilli would be around plus 750.
Yeah, $1,100 seems. I don't know. I might have to toss something on.
I might have to throw $100 on
Yeah,
that.
like I'm looking at all these, and then you get to the end of it. Sebastian Kosa. We'll see if he makes the Red Wings.
Oh, this is so bad. As soon as hockey starts, I'm gonna lose so much money.
Yeah, dude. Well, I might be coming to live with you if if the mortgage isn't.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at these. Yeah, this is not good. Hockey season is right around the corner, dude.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna have to start going like canning again after all the beers I crushed during
Dude, this is a little side note, but during the playoffs, the NHL playoffs last season, I had to stop betting because I literally placed over 20 bets for the playoffs. I won one bet, and it was in round one. It was in round.
That's when you just chalk it up, hit the showers.
I deleted the app. I was like, I can't touch this anymore.
It's cold streaks, man. Like,
it was so bad.
It's gonna be bad. Like, especially seeing those numbers. Like now, I won't do it while we're recording now, but now I want to go look at like the other awards and just toss as much fucking money as I can on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm so fired up. With the preseason, like mentioned the Cooley goal. I also want to bring up, our Bruins, dude. That save by Brandon Bussey, dude. Oh my, he looks like an NHL goalie, dude.
He is an NHL goalie.
And listen, I love Linus Ullmark. I do, but I think we are a lot closer than people think to a Swayman Bussey tandem. I think we're a lot closer than people think.
I'm with you.
Again, we're gonna get those people that comment on our stuff being like, well, preseason, small sample size. But
look what he did last year though. Like
the season that he had, I think he is an NHL goalie, dude. He looked calm. He looked calm. He looked, again, we were watching Kyle Kaiser the other night, and again, you can just tell like he's not an NHL goalie. That's okay.
Right.
But he's gonna be a career AHL player. And there's nothing wrong with that.
With the eye test, you can tell. You can tell.
Exactly, dude. And again, he just looked poised. The poise was unbelievable in there.
He has great
like
poise.
he just looked comfortable back there. Like, and again, these saves that he was making, that save that he made, dude, that is already like gonna be up there for save of the year.
Oh yeah. There was another one too that went under the radar a little bit because it was obviously the save with the glove kind of took over. Yeah. But there was another one where I forget who the player was for the Rangers, but he was cutting around the net, right? Basically going for a wraparound. Bussy puts the paddle down, and the puck kind of slides underneath the paddle. And so it went right to the front, a quick little one, not necessarily a one-timer, but a quick shot from the slot.
Yeah.
And Bussy kind of like had to slide down on his side, almost like a shout-out two-pad stack, almost like a two-pad stack kind of off to the side, and he just like kicked it away. And it's like, dude, like players who aren't ready for the NHL would not do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And my question is, we're obviously we're going into the season with Sway and Ullmark, right? I don't think there's anyone doubting that. I think it's going to be another good year in Providence for Bussy. But if he puts up another unbelievable season in Providence, do you see a scenario where they roll with Ullmark Swayman again next year? And then, like, what do you do at that point?
No, I think if Bussy puts up,
it's either Bussy's moving or Ullmark's moving.
If I'm being honest, as a Boston fan, well, how many years left is on Bussy's contract? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I don't. I can look it up.
Okay. All right. Either way, I think at the end of this season, if Bussy has a great year in Providence, you explore trades for Ullmark. I don't think you trade Swayman. I think that's the wrong move. I think you look to move Ullmark for something that you've discovered that your team needs. Well, whether it's on defense, whether it's in the forward group, whether it's a center or not. But You're right. We are a lot closer to a combo of Sway and Bussy than most people want to think. And I already saw people. This is how I know hockey has started, because people on Twitter are just throwing out the most outlandish takes I've ever heard in my life. But I've already seen people saying trade Allmark now and roll Swayman and Bussy. Like, that's not the move. That's not the move.
And also you don't, what these people don't understand is, cool, if you wanted to make that move, if that's how you feel about it, why are you trading now? Why wouldn't you have traded immediately after the season when he literally had won the Vezina? Like, again, the stock is not where it was the end of last year, right? When he won the Vezina, the regular season, whatever. They weren't going to trade him at that point. It doesn't make sense. Why would people think that? Like, why would people want to trade Allmark before the season has even started?
Because some people,
like, again,
I know use their brains.
I know the answer to that. Because it's Bruins Twitter, which we know what that is.
I will give credit. I think 90% of Bruins Twitter knows, they think logically. Yeah. But there's the minority of those people. And I'm not shitting on you guys, but I'm just saying, like, use your head a little bit. Use your head a little.
Like, again, I can respect the opinions. Like, we talked about this last episode. Like, I'll never shit on you for a take or whatever. Like, I'll disagree with you and I'll say you're probably wrong, but I'm not going to shit, and I just don't see a scenario where the Bruins move Allmark right now. Like, again, this is a very similar situation to what we just talked about with the Stamkos thing. Now, if they get to the trade deadline and they're not in a position where they're going to be making the playoffs, then absolutely, make the move. There's going to be teams that need goaltending that, again, his stock is going to be high, hopefully. I mean, he is a Vezina Trophy winner. Then, move him at that point and roll with Bussy and Swayman. Give Bussy NHL reps at that point. That's one thing. Just shipping him off right now for the hell of it before the season has even started, no. Like, no.
If say you got a notification on your phone, say in the next day or two, Boston Bruins trade Linus Ullmark to Winnipeg for Mark Scheifele. Just throwing it out there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You would look at your phone and you would be shocked. And I think 90% of people would look at their phone and be shocked. And I just think that goes to show that moving him right now, because Bussy had one amazing preseason game added to his really good AHL season last year, is a crazy move. It's something that you just don't do that right now. No,
and I think Bussy understands that, dude. Like, like, I think he does know that he's ultimately going to be in Providence again this year. A full season under his belt, another great season. I think we have to really consider, like I said it earlier, I think we are a lot closer to a Bussy Swayman tandem than people think.
Yes,
and if he has another great year, then we need to seriously consider moving probably Allmark. But that's obviously down the road. We're just so fired up that hockey's back. I mean, a lot of Bruins players impressed, dude. Matthew Patois, like, I was really, really impressed with him. And now my take of him making the team is looking even better.
Yeah.
And again, I won't name. I had arguments on arguments with multiple people about him needing to go to Providence, and we need to put, say Patrick Brown, and again, I'm not going to name names, but Patois is showing that he belongs on this team consistently in this lineup.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be telling, right? Because of the NHL CHL transfer agreement, it's any player, I believe, younger than 20 can't stick, or I'm sorry, they can't be sent to the AHL. It's either NHL or juniors. It's under 20, and I think without 4 years of experience in juniors. I think that's the agreement. So Patois, obviously falls under that umbrella. So, and I believe he can get 9 games in the NHL too.
Yeah,
and still
it's
get
or
sent.
is it 9 or 10?
I think it's 9.
Okay.
I think it's 9. But I mean, game 1 of the preseason, like me and Mel were talking about it on yesterday's episode of Something's Brewing. Um, it's easy to overreact to games, right, in the preseason because everybody
For
is so
sure.
hockey starved. You're watching these young guys come in that you're excited to see, and watching them succeed just kind of fills that excitement level up to the brim. And sometimes you can react to that and you're not really thinking 100%. If he can continue to play solid the way that he did in game 1 of the preseason through however many preseason games he plays for the rest of, up until October 11th, um he I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if he can maintain that level of play, then fuck it. Roll with Poitras.
Yeah.
Do it. Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Have you seen if the lines have come out for tomorrow's game? Because I'd be
Not yet.
curious. I'd be curious what they're going to be doing with him tomorrow. I'd be curious if they have him centering with, like, say, a Marchand or a Pasta. I'd be curious to see, because at that point you have to think that they're giving him a legitimate look.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are like they are seriously considering having him on the NHL roster at that point.
I think I'm looking at the lineup for tomorrow. I want to see him with at least one of them,
Yes.
right? Either Pasta or Marchand. But I kind of want to see him with Zacha. What if you put Zacha on the left and you have Poitras at center?
But I think your center depth is so thin right now that I
It
don't think
is.
you can
It is.
afford to take Zacha off center. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
adding Patois to center depth of Charlie Coyle and Zacha, I think puts you in a better position if he maintains this level of play. But I don't hate that take, to be honest, but I just can't see a scenario where they're going to remove Zacha playing center.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm just kind of I'm looking at the group right now. Maybe Richard had a good first game in the preseason.
He did.
So you could even
He was
throw
fast, dude. He's fast.
Is he on the right side? Is he right wing? I'm pretty sure he was.
I think so. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember. I believe so.
So go with Poitras, Marchand, Richard.
Yeah.
Richard's a water bug out there. He can skate, he can shoot. And then Marchand obviously is Marchand. You don't have to say any more about that, but
right.
But to your point, I do want to see him with some NHL talent.
Yeah, and another guy I want to watch too is John Farinacci.
Mm-hmm.
Saw him at the Prospect Challenge. He was just very responsible in his own zone. Again, he even has said that he takes a lot of pride in his two-way game. Being responsible in the defensive zone. He's another guy I want to watch and see, because I thought he's played well. Has he played yet? He looked good at the Prospect Challenge, and again, I was definitely watching his defensive zone play, and yeah, I'm having like a brain fart right now.
I don't think he has played yet.
I'm not sure, but he's a name I want to watch, as well as Johnny Beecher.
Yeah, John. Oh,
I think that's
John,
obvious.
Talk about a guy who is
playing into that fourth line center role.
Yep. And ever since he's come into the system, people have talked about his speed, right? Like, he's a very quick skater. It's just kind of rounding out his game is what he had to do.
Right.
Put him on the fourth line with someone like Lucic and Lauko. Beecher, Lucic, Lauko.
That line,
Are you kidding me?
I love that, dude. I love it. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Dude, I would love that. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh boy. Like the desk elevated again.
No, but yeah. No, I'm curious. I think the closer that we get, obviously we had the first round of cuts today.
Yep.
I don't think anyone thought guy like Patois, Beecher were going to be on that list. Yeah, we'll see, man. Like, I'm super excited to watch this team, and I hope they get creative with it. Because, like I said, and like you said, I really want to see Patois with a Marchand or a Pasta and see how creative they can get. Like,
Yeah.
again, that will be really telling for me. If they are putting a guy like Patois with Marchand or Pasta, they are legitimately considering having this guy on the team in the lineup.
Why not both? Marchand, Patra,
Oh,
Pasta. Come on.
stop. No, dude, I know. What do you do on that second line then? DeBrusk, Zaka, and JVR?
I don't think JVR is in the lineup tomorrow. So if that's your first line, right?
Oh, I'm just saying in general, like in
Oh,
general.
just
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
general. Yeah, maybe. I mean, but I kind of want to do it for tomorrow, right? So say that's your first line, right? Patra, Marchand, Pasta.
Yeah.
You could probably go Zaka, Lauko, Merkulov.
Yeah.
Second line.
Not
Wouldn't
bad.
mind that. And then say Harrison, Chason, Heinen, and Farinacci, Richard, and Harrison.
I like
Except
it.
except I feel like Harrison should probably not be on that fourth line.
Maybe swap Richard.
Yes.
Maybe potentially. I mean,
I like that. Listen, Jimmy Montgomery.
Jim, I know you're an avid listener of the pod.
Yeah.
So,
I just made your job easy for tomorrow.
yeah.
Just roll those lines.
Can you imagine, dude? Clip it.
Then he would if it's that tomorrow, it's confirmed he listens.
Yeah, we know he's an avid listener.
Yeah.
You know, where else is he going to get his hockey knowledge?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But yeah, no, I and another thing that we haven't even mentioned yet, Lowry most likely is going to be playing with McAvoy. So I'm really excited about that. I think he's been decent. I think there's been a few hiccups. But overall, I think he's looked fine.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty well.
I don't think he's made any mistakes that deserve him getting sent down like immediately or cut rather.
I think he does get sent down. I don't think he starts the season in Boston. Unless he pops off.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Like even a guy like Mitchell looked really good, dude.
Mitchell looked real good, dude.
He looked very good. And I'm excited about. We knew going in this team had defensive depth.
Yep.
I mean that was never a question. But I think actually seeing these guys play now, like the Mitchells, I don't think anyone really knew a whole lot about him. He was buried out in Chicago, so obviously I don't think we knew a whole lot about him. But actually seeing him in game, he looked very good.
Well, the thing about him too is that he, as we saw last game against Buffalo, he likes to jump up in the offensive play. He does that a lot, and you saw that with the team last season. Jim Montgomery encourages his defensemen to do that. So maybe this system under Montgomery just works well for his game, and maybe it kind of unlock a new level of potential for him, because he did look good against Buffalo. He had a couple of shifts where I was like, damn, like.
Yeah, I definitely see him being the seventh defenseman. Whether he plays himself into a starting top six role, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, but definitely seventh defenseman, I think. But yeah, dude, I'm so fired up. Like, obviously, it's going to be these next couple games are going to be really telling what direction the team goes with these prospects. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, I am too.
Yeah, so kind of pivoting a little bit, we got some huge news yesterday from the college hockey world.
Yes.
And you and I are huge college hockey fans. It was kind of funny. As soon as I texted you, Boosie, and Mel, obviously Boosie, who the fuck's that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and immediately we said, obviously Mel said Quinnipiac, but but if he wants to win, he'll go to Quinnipiac.
Yeah, go Bobcats.
Yeah, but obviously he ends up he decommits from the University of Minnesota, which I didn't necessarily understand why he committed there in the first place. I know he played for Shattuck, St. Mary's, and again, it's his prerogative, but decommits from the University of Minnesota and now is going to be attending Boston University to play for the Terriers, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
This Terriers team, we thought BC was good. Yeah, no, it's BU now.
It's BU.
Like
It's BU.
nothing against the BC team and those, those three that,
Still a good team.
phenomenal team with, Cutter Gauthier, Will Smith, Ryan Leonard, Gabe Perreault, like just to name a few. But now we're talking two of the number one overall pick probably and the number two overall pick. Gonna
Talk
be
about
playing, yeah.
Talk about a solid year for college hockey. It
Oh
just
my
got
God.
even better. And I know Eiserman, like you said, Minnesota, like, yeah, like he's still in the system, but now you're talking about the top two projected picks playing on the same team for obviously the Boston University men's hockey.
Yeah.
Like, put college hockey back on the map, dude. This is going to be an insane season. And
Yeah.
I already told a couple of my friends. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, we're going to like cancel your plans because we're going to
Yeah.
BU. Like, we're gonna go watch these games for sure.
And I was going down the roster too. Like they already have guys like Lane Hudson. They
Right.
have Ty Gallagher, Gavin McCarthy. Like again,
Macklin Celebrini. dude.
Macklin. Well, yeah, that Macklin Celebrini, the other Hudson brother, the
Yep.
third Hudson brother is going to be going there. Like again, this team, give it up to Jay Pandolfo, man. Like
I know.
he really is. He's really built a wagon there, and it's going to be so fun to watch. I couldn't believe when I saw that, dude. It literally just out of nowhere. Evan Marinovsky. I didn't even believe it. I was driving and I like pulled over. I was like, "What the? Are you serious?"
I mean, Luke Tuck is on that team too. Brother of Alex Tuck.
Yeah, he's
Shout
good,
out Sabres.
dude.
Shout
Yeah.
out Sabres.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's a good player. Like I know I forgot other names, but yeah, this team is loaded.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was huge news yesterday, and obviously congrats to Cole, and obviously that's a huge honor, be playing for such a a team with so much tradition. It's gonna be so fun to watch.
Yeah. Yep. Can't
But
agree with you more.
yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up for for episode 14. We got into preseason stuff. Obviously, we love the college hockey talk. And we're really excited about this week's guest. Forward for the Tri-City Storm. He's the 11th ranked prospect, according to Bob McKenzie at TSN. Trevor Connelly. It was a fun interview. He obviously we talk to younger players and sometimes they're shy and just kind of still coming into their own and whatever. He was a very just very well spoken and he was a lot of fun to talk to. So yeah, is there anything else you want to say, Mikey?
I think that basically covers it. But I mean, we got real regular season hockey coming in the next like week and a half, 2 weeks. So season's knocking on our doors. We're right there.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. And I can't wait
man.
to, obviously we started this podcast too, in the off season. So once hockey, starts to rev up a little bit and we start seeing standings, we're standings watching, we're point race watching, we're awards race watching. The show's only going to get better. So I'm pumped up.
Yeah, I'm
it's
really
gonna be a ton of fun.
I'm really fired up, man. And like you said, yeah, this started during the off season, so we were really scrambling for content, but I think we did a really good job overall. Getting through the off season. We made a few changes, logistic stuff. But yeah, dude, I'm fired up for the season. So that wraps up Drop the Mitts episode 14, brought to you in partnership with Primetime Productions. And without further ado, Tri-City Storm's Trevor Connelly. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Welcome back to episode 14 of Drop the Mitts Hockey Podcast, brought to you in partnership with Primetime Productions. We have an unreal guest today, Tri-City Storm forward and projected first-round pick this year, Trevor Connelly. Trevor, how you doing, buddy? How's your off-season been going?
Been good. It's obviously lovely to go back home in the summer, see sunny California and stuff. So it was a great off season, a lot of training on ice and off the ice, and just enjoying time with my family and friends.
Yeah, what kind of things do you enjoy doing besides, obviously training and being on the ice? There any other things you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I love going to the beach. I'm at the beach a ton in the summer, like almost every day. I try and go as much as I can. It's just super relaxing, and the beaches in California are beautiful. I have a really close relationship with my little brother, so I'm always out doing stuff with him and taking him on different adventures and stuff. So just spending time with my family and friends and just trying to enjoy the sunny California while I can.
You a surfer at all?
A little bit. I'm not great, but I'll go with my buddies. So definitely not as good as my friends back home. But I can go and have fun, but I'm not the best for sure.
There you go, man. Yeah, so obviously, it's been a long off season. You're back in Nebraska. What's it like being in Nebraska, man? Obviously being a California and spend some time in Cali and Massachusetts. Like, what's it like being in Nebraska? Obviously, we talked before this, and you mentioned just cornfields. Like, what is it like being out there?
Yeah, it's definitely different than California, but the biggest thing for me is the people are all super nice here. Like everyone is like the town we're in, it's not a big town, probably 5 to 6 thousand people, but everyone's just super nice. They support us. They all know who we are. So it's definitely been a change of scenery, but I think the people here are great people. So I love that about Nebraska for sure.
Yeah, so you're with a sponsor family. What is that experience like? I mean, I've talked to different dudes, and they've had different experiences with their sponsor families. What's yours been like? What's your experience been like with your host family?
Yeah, my host family's awesome. So they have 3 kids. They have 2 little boys and a little daughter, and they have 3 dogs. But they're a great family. They have a great setup for. I live with Cooper Simpson, who's in '07. He tendered here as well. He played in the Five Nations tournament this summer. So we live together in the we're in the basement, and the 3 kids are upstairs. But I couldn't say anything like bad about the family. They make great food. They're great people. They've been awesome to us. So it definitely makes living away from home a lot easier having the family.
Yeah, the home cooked meals and the good food always helps. Um, I wanted to ask you, so growing up in California, what made you get into hockey? Was there a person, a specific, a family member that got you into it? You know, yeah, what made you get into hockey? And growing up, who was your favorite team and some of your favorite players?
Yeah, so I all my credit for my hockey I give to my dad. He grew up in Massachusetts, so that's all always like more hockey than California. So right as I could start walking, he started getting me into hockey, put a stick in my hands, put me in skates. So, and he actually coached me until I was about 12 years old. So he really developed me as a player a lot. He helped me in a lot of the areas of my game. I definitely wouldn't be the same player I am now without him. And I also had he coached with a guy named Eugene Cabin. Still coaches my little brother, and he and my dad really made me the player who I am. I still skate with him in the summers. He's from Ukraine, so he's very hard on me and was hard on me growing up, but he really pushed me and made me the best, and obviously it worked out.
Yeah, you're going to be better for it in the long run, and obviously it sucks in the moment, but and like I mentioned, in the long run, it's really going to be beneficial to you. But there any who are your favorite players growing up and favorite teams?
Yeah, so Boston because of my dad. I was always growing up. We were always back east in Boston, down in the Cape, and he's one of 7, so a lot of his siblings still live back in Boston. So basically, my whole life growing up, everything was just Boston, Boston, Boston. So I've been a Bruins fan my whole life. I'm a huge fan of Pasternak. I really like Jack Hughes and Kent Johnson. Um, I'm also a big fan of Mike Modano. I think he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's more of
Legend, dude.
I really like his game and how he played the style of hockey.
I always love seeing, like, obviously you're a younger kid, 17, and I just to see, to hear a name like Mike Modano, obviously that was even before like a kid or a guy I grew up watching too, and it's really cool to hear that. I love Mike Modano myself, dude. He just, again, for him to thrive in Dallas, he was an unbelievable player, especially as an American.
Yeah,
Um,
he can skate. He was skilled. He was fast. He was smart. He
those stars teams, dude, were unreal. Like I still like to go back and watch highlights of Mike Modano and like Sergei Zubov, like all those guys. They're just fucking unreal.
I watch a ton of Mike Modano highlights. I really like him. He's an insane player.
So kind of getting into, keeping up with like current players or former players. Are there any players that you try to like emulate your game after?
Yeah,
Um,
two guys that I kind of see like shades of myself in when I watch are Jack Hughes and Kent Johnson. I'd say more Kent Johnson than Jack Hughes, but I really like the way that Johnson plays. He makes his teammates better. He can skate. He's very smart, and he has a really good shot. So I think I kind of see shades of myself when I watch him play, and I like to watch a lot of his highlights and stuff and just learn different things from him.
Yeah, dude, I was watching your highlights, obviously, like on Elite Prospects and everything, and that's actually an unreal comparison. I didn't even think of Kent Johnson, but yeah, that's an unreal comparison. And honestly, so last year you had an a good season. 24 Genos, 23 assists in 47 games. Um, what areas of your game this offseason have you been like mostly working on to improve? And what are your expectations for this upcoming season?
Yeah, so this off season for me was I would really dialed in on my shot and shot volume. So for me, I was just working on a bunch of different shots, how I can score more from different angles, harder angles, what's the hardest for the goalie to stop. So this summer, I really watched a lot of video and did a lot on the ice of just finding different ways to score and different angles, different ways to shoot. So I think that was my main thing for me this off season is just really dialing in on getting like 10 shots a game and just the best shots opportunities. And yeah, so that was the main thing. Another thing for me was my defensive game, which last year, coming in as a younger forward, it was harder playing real defense from AAA hockey. So I think I really developed those two things a lot, and those what helped me play good in the second half of the season.
Like, so what would you describe your play style as? For someone that, who doesn't really know a whole lot about you, like what would you say that, your biggest strengths are, and like your overall main play style?
I think I'm a fast-paced player. I play the game at a really high speed, and I think I like to make my teammates better all over the ice. I always look for little plays to set them up or set a rush up or different opportunities. And I think when I get my chance to put the puck in the net, I put it in the net. But I think my main things for me are my skating and my hockey IQ, and just I like how I have a different way of seeing the ice and different way of making plays. So I think those are my two main abilities.
Yeah. So you get to play in the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, and you fucking tore it up. You were tied with Berkeley Catton, who's another phenomenal player from Canada. You guys both had 10 points. What was your biggest takeaway from that tournament? And just what was it like being able to play with like some unreal talent? For the U.S. You guys won bronze, which is good. It's great. What was your overall takeaway from that tournament?
Yeah, it's funny you say Berkeley. We're actually drafted to the same Western League team, so we've kind of known each
Oh,
other.
Spokane.
Yeah, we've known each other kind of a little bit growing up and stuff. So it was super cool to play against him, and obviously he's an unreal talent of player. So it was really cool to play against him in that Canada game. And I think the biggest thing for me that tournament was I just tried to stay dialed in on what I was good at and how I could help the team the most get success. So I just worked my ass off. I competed all over the ice. I think what helped me produce so much was working hard defensively, working hard away from the puck, and just doing all the hard things to get rewarded when I got my chance. And yeah, we definitely had some very, very high end players. I really enjoyed playing with Will Zellers and Max Swanson. They're two very high offensive, smart hockey players. So I think I had a really good connection with those two, and it was super fun to be on the ice with both of them for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I remember watching that tournament. I could not believe the speed of you guys on that ice, dude. And the one thing I do remember is I was taking a video like for Snapchat or whatever, and one of my buddies was giving me shit, telling me to upgrade from the iPhone 7 because of all the fog on the ice, and I'm like, dude, no, that's the fog on the ice. Did you have to play through that at all?
Yeah, so our exhibition game, we played Slovakia in the rink where Canada in that division played. So the exhibition game and then the bronze medal game were in that rink, and the fog was insane there. It was like I was wearing a bubble too, so it was like every shift I got off the ice, took my helmet
Oh
off
yeah.
because I was like I can't see, like I skate for like 10, 15 seconds and my whole bubble is fogged. So yeah, I think they don't have some part or machine over there that we use here, so it's harder for them to get that out when like the weather's hot in the summer. I think someone was saying.
Yeah, well, dude, I was watching on my TV, and then I flipped to my my laptop because my dumbass thought it was my TV like fogging out, and I'm like, it literally took me like 15 minutes to recognize that it was all right. This is probably on the ice, but yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was crazy. I couldn't even imagine trying to play through that. Like, especially you mentioned wearing a bubble. Like, you that must have been so fucking annoying.
like in warm-ups, like you'd look down and you could like barely see the other team like skating around shooting pucks. It was
Um, so yeah, we talked about it earlier. You're committed to Providence College. You talked about you could probably go this season, but just opted not to. What went into the decision for choosing Providence? Were there any other schools you toured? And obviously, we know a couple beauties here from Providence, Riley Duran and Patrick Moynihan. Did you get to talk to them at all? And yeah, again, were there any other schools like that you kind of were considering?
yeah. So Providence, I just felt like their coaching staff would be the best for me and really push me to be the best player and get all the best things out of me. So I was talking to them ever since they could start talking to me, and I just felt a really strong connection with their coaching staff. And when I took my visit out there, I like stepped on campus and I was like, this is where I want to be. Like the guys are awesome, the facilities are great, like the school is great, seems like great people, and obviously it's close to all my relatives in Massachusetts and stuff. So I just felt like that spot would be the best for me, and Lehman would really push me to be the best player that I can get to.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus, dude. I've been there a few times. I've been to that rink a couple times. It's a beautiful rink.
Yeah,
Um,
great campus. Their gym's awesome, locker room's awesome. They have really good facilities there, so I'm super pumped to get there.
have you got to talk? Have you talked to any of the players from there? Like, we mentioned Riley Durant, Patrick Moynihan. I know they got Parker Ford. Did you get
Yeah,
to talk to any of those guys?
yeah. So I met all of them on my visit. I talked to Duran and Moynihan. They were all super nice kids. Introduced themselves to me, talked to me a little bit about the school and stuff. So that was cool. And then I spent most of my time with Brett Berard. He's in the AHL now.
Yep.
And his brother Brady, they were really good to me. They showed me a lot and just told me a lot about the school. And then I actually have two kids from my Tri-City team last year who were freshmen there now, Tanner Adams and Graham Gamache. I actually played on a line with both of them for a bit, so that's
Nice, dude.
on my team now. We have two commits committed to Providence. Alex Bales, who was on my Hlinka team, actually, he's a D-man. And then Sam Omeritati, who's a kid from Finland, who both great kids. So we have a super good group of guys going there and stuff. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I feel it's definitely got to be helpful to have family around, and obviously just knowing exactly what you're going into. Like you mentioned, just a bunch of great dudes. I feel like that's just something that makes life that much easier when making a decision like this. Um, are there any guys that, whether it's in college or in juniors that have been mentors to you, that have been kind of helping you along the way, for your with your journey?
For sure, yeah. So I had a Swedish roommate. He's actually at UMass now. His name's Sebastian Tornquist, and he was kind of like a big brother to me last year. Like he helped me like get on like all my routines, just like figuring out how like more of like a pro life is. And so I really give credit to him because he was always there for me. He was like my best friend last year. He helped me, told me what to do, what not to do. So I give him a lot of credit for developing me last year and really helping me like be my best self.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, you're going to be you're a prospect in this upcoming draft. TSN's Bob McKenzie has you ranked as the 11th best prospect in this class. Um, are there any cities you're like really itching to go to? Situations, cities, players you want to play with? Um, yeah, like are there any situations that you're like you'd love to be in? Obviously, it's a dream come true to get drafted. Um,
I'd go anywhere if I could get drafted in the NHL. I'm super honored that I have the opportunity. But I think the main Boston would be probably my one spot that I would want to go to, and then honestly, my second I think would be somewhere in like Tampa or Florida. I really like who Tampa has, like their forwards, like Kucherov, Point, like they just have a ton of talent, and I
yeah.
think Florida, I think it's a cool spot and stuff. So I think one of those teams would be super cool. And then obviously Anaheim, because I played for the Junior Ducks and stuff. So that'd be super cool if I
Might
got
be
to.
cool to play with a guy like Trevor Zegras and maybe Leo Carlson. Who knows?
He's one of my favorite. Zegers is one of my favorite players. Actually, 2 years ago, my coach set me up to have a FaceTime with him, so I got to talk to him for a little bit and stuff. So I look up to him a lot too. I watch a
Man,
lot.
the shit that he does on the ice is just unbelievable. It's just, the balls that it takes to try to pull off the stuff that he does. He's so fun to watch, and
On the watch.
it's kind of funny seeing a lot of these old timers get all pissed off about, these kids trying this stuff. And honestly, I think it's so good for the game, to show the creativity of you guys that, it's just a different game. It's evolving. Everything evolves.
Yeah,
And
it definitely helped me expand my game because I've definitely sat in my driveway for hours trying a lot of the moves that he's tried to do and stuff. So I love watching videos and highlights of him. I think he's definitely a special talent because he does a lot of things that people don't like, and he just kind of accepts it and plays his style of hockey. So I really like how he plays the style of
yeah,
the game.
so I kind of want to go back to this. I didn't have this question written down, but obviously this year has a ton of like phenomenal rookies. Obviously from the development camp, or not development camps, the prospect challenges. We saw what Bedard did. Fantilli had a hat trick. Are there any players in this year's draft that you think you play like or would like to emulate your game after?
Mm, Honestly, I don't know the younger players well enough. Like I know like Fantilli and Bedard, and I think I kind of play different styles of them. But I can't really think of a guy in this draft that like I play a lot of like. I'd say I think maybe I see shades in like Ryan Leonard, like how hard he works and like he's a goal scorer and like
You'll get to
smart
play against him next year, dude.
for sure. So I think he's one player that maybe I've seen shades of.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched enough of the guys like detailedly to like make a say on that.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. So obviously, I wanted to bring up also one thing that we're kind of huge on here at Drop the Mitts is we love talking to the players and obviously getting to know you guys. But I think one thing that definitely falls through the cracks with pro hockeyers, NHL guys, is their community involvement. And I wanted to talk to you about your involvement with hockey players of color. What kind of work have you been doing with them? And obviously, you're doing great work with them. You put in a ton of hours. So talk to us a little bit about your involvement with them.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to go down to Florida and actually coach two of their teams in an event. So that was just a super cool experience for me, just learning, like teaching those kids what I know about hockey and my dad being there with me, being on the bench, being able to coach with them for the first time. So it was super cool. And the head person who runs it, her name's Jasmine Miley. She's been awesome to me. I do video with one of the players on the team, like once every month or so. So I just take video clips from his games that he sent me and send him some stuff, hop on a Zoom with him and do different stuff with him. And I just gave him some like shooting drills that he can work on in his garage and stuff. So they've been super good to me and gave me the opportunity to work for them. And so I was super thankful. And it was definitely cool to see that like those kids like all playing hockey from like all different places and like stuff. So it's awesome. I want to get the game everywhere. So
Yeah, dude, it's a heartwarming thing, especially with the younger kids. You giving them the knowledge, like what and just seeing the smiles on their faces, when they're lacing them up. There's nothing like it. It's you're doing God's work, and obviously we love hearing about all the community involvement. And keep it up, man.
the summer too with my mom. Like me and my mom, we do a lot of like beach cleanups and stuff. We'll go in the mornings and stuff. And then me and my sister actually do this one other thing. It's like where foster families drop off their foster kids at like a church, and like you just spend like 6 hours on a Saturday, like once a month with them, like hanging out with them, playing different sports with them and stuff. So that's super cool too. Just being able to like give back to those kids and stuff, just spend time with them and stuff. So that's always super fun in the summer, just some activities that I do with my family.
Yeah, dude. We love seeing kids as talented as you are, not only on the ice, but just genuine human beings that, just want to help out wherever they can. And, that have such a heavy presence in the community. We love to see it. And obviously, like, whoever gets to draft you this year is getting a hell of a kid. Unreal talent on the ice, but, an even better person off the ice. So, honestly, I wish you the best of luck this season, man. And hopefully we can have you on closer to draft time. And
For sure.
yeah, man. Thank you again. We appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was super fun, and I loved meeting you and having a chat with you.
Of course, buddy. Take care.
Take care.